and of taunts. PS 44. 13-15. J 24. 9 individuals who became proverbial sayings thereby became the subject of the songs of drinkers of intoxicating liquor, and someone in whose face others would spit. PS 69. 11, 12. Job 17. 6 clearly, one who became a proverbial saying was reduced to a very low state. Not all proverbial sayings were expressed in one or two short, pithy sentences. In Isaiah chapter 14 is recorded a more extensive one, portraying vividly and without comparisons the disastrous effects of the pride of the king of Babylon. With biting sarcasm it heaps ridicule on the one who thought of himself as the shining one, son of the dawn. When the likeness or comparison embodied in a proverbial saying was at first somewhat obscure or puzzling, it might also be called a riddle. PS 78. 2. That was true of the one that Ezekiel was inspired to tell Israel, in which he likened the course of the nation in relation to Babylon and Egypt to a vine planted by one eagle that later reached out hungrily to another. S 17. 2-18. Some proverbial utterances, such as those of Job, were set out in poetic style. Job 27. 1. 29. 1. The ideas that Job was inspired to express were not put down in a concise style characteristic of most proverbs, but were developed into highly instructive poems filled with figurative speech. God also caused Balaam to make a series of proverbial utterances, and these, too, are put down in the form of poetry. New 23. 7, 18. 24. 3, 15, 20, 21. 23. Far from expressing any scorn for Israel in these proverbial utterances, Balaam blessed them to the limit, though he did prophesy woe for other peoples. New 23. 11. The proverbial aspect here is not because of any popular repetition of what Balaam said, nor because his statements were concise expressions of wisdom. Rather, these are termed proverbial utterances, because of the power and rich meaning of what was said, along with his use of a variety of likenesses or comparisons in some of his statements. Proverbs. Book of. A book consisting of a compilation of proverbs or wise sayings from a number of other collections. The book itself sets forth its objective. For one, to know wisdom and discipline, to discern the sayings of understanding, to receive the discipline that gives insight, righteousness and judgment and uprightness, to give to the inexperienced one's shrewdness, to a young man knowledge and thinking ability. PR 1. 2-4. The purpose is that you may walk in the way of good people, and that the paths of the righteous ones you may keep. 2. 20. The introductions to 3 of the book's sections attribute the proverbs contained in them to Solomon. PR 1. 1. 10. 1. 25. 1. This agrees with the fact that Solomon could speak 3,000 proverbs. 1 Kai 4. 32. There can be little question that many, if not all, of the proverbs in these sections were recorded during Solomon's reign. With reference to himself, Solomon stated, "The congregator had become wise, he also taught the people knowledge continually, and he pondered and made a thorough research, that he might arrange many proverbs in order. The congregator sought to find the delightful words in the writing of correct words of truth." EC 12. 9, 10. However, various arguments have been advanced against crediting most of the proverbs to Solomon. Certain proverbs. PR 16. 14. O texto e acute miritra longo, Proverbs, Book of 704 to Hezekiah's reign. 25. 1. So there is a basis for believing that the proverbs were compiled in book form by the time of that ruler's death in c. 717 BCE. The repetition of certain proverbs suggests that the book was compiled from various separate collections. Compare 10. 1 and 15. 20. 10. 2 and 11. 4. 14. 20 and 19. 4. 16. 2 and 21. 2. Style and arrangement. The Book of Proverbs is written in Hebrew poetic style, which consists of thought rhythm, employing parallelisms, the ideas of which are either similar. PR 11. 25. 16. 18. 18. 15 or contrasting. 10, 7, 30, 12, 25, 13, 25, 15. 8. Its first section 1. 1. 9. 18 consists of short discourses addressed by a father to a son or sons. This serves as an introduction to the short, pithy sayings found in the remaining sections of the book. The last 22 verses of the book are written in acrostic, or alphabetic, style, a form of composition also employed by David for a number of his psalms. PS 9, 10, 25, 34, 37, 145. Inspired of God. The writers of the Christian Greek scriptures testify to the fact that the book of Proverbs is part of God's inspired word. The Apostle Peter 1 Pe 4. 18. 2 Pe 2. 22. Pr 11. 31 LXX. 26. 11 and the disciple James just 4.